So what's up, Heather?
What's up, B?
Heather, I'm excited about tonight's episode.
I'm picking up on that.
I'm excited, so we're going to skip all of the normal
and the banter and the back and the forth.
No more banter. Welcome to Tortured Bourbon. I am contractually obligated to follow our YouTube overlords and ask you to like and subscribe and share our show. We are grateful for all of you. And shout out to our new YouTube friends, Beach Sand Bourbon. They discovered our show recently, and they've kindly given us a shout out. So, shout out to them.
And y'all be sure and check them out. And while you're at it, be sure to follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, X, and Instagram.
Just to make her happy.
Lots of things make me happy. That's one of them. Yeah. I'll be honest. If you have any episode ideas, anything you disagree with, agree with, or you just want to chat with me, send us an email or a message.
Sometimes I answer. Now, back to the actual point today. Here's number one reason I'm excited. Well, actually, it's not the number one reason.
I started to say, no, it's not.
It's not the...
It's 1.5.
It's 1.5. We're kicking off our new Monday, Wednesday, Friday publication schedule with a bang. That means more work for us, more content for you. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
We're just not going to sleep anymore.
No more.
It's fine.
What I'm really excited about, the almost universally loved, unofficial, unanimous winner of 2024, the one, the only, the amazing, I just got a bottle for my birthday, and I'm so excited. Russell's 15.
Russell's 15. This is going to be our inaugural Monday episode.
That's right.
And I don't think we could start any better. In fact, I feel like this is one of the highest points of our show thus far.
Yes.
Especially for you.
Yeah, because I'm a Wild Turkey fanboy.
You are?
You didn't know that?
No one knew.
If you've ever watched this show more than once, you will know I'm a Wild Turkey fanboy.
You are.
And since doing this show, my love affair has just grown. The hills are alive.
With the
sound of Russell's 15.
I have loved learning all about the Russells, all of the Russells, and they all work at Wild Turkey. Yep. I love hearing about what they're doing. If only I could figure out a way to be adopted into the family.
Me first. Anyway, I feel like we've built up to this point in a very natural way. We started with Wild Turkey 101. I skipped 80 for you because you don't need that.
Yeah.
We did some rare breed, which is Chef's Kiss. 70th anniversary, which is Chef's Kiss. And then we got into some Russell's 10. The 15 eluded us. We were going to a concert one night down in downtown Raleigh to see the Violent Femmes. Mm-hmm. And we got to try some Russell's 15, which we did do a short. And it was very popular. It was one of our best shorts.
It was our first short.
It was our first short. It was our first short. First short, first Monday night episode.
It's the first time we figured out what shorts could do.
That's right, yeah.
We didn't have our own bottle, and we'd only had that one tasting until the very recent, as in this week, anniversary of your birth.
And for the rest of us, we call those birthdays.
I liked a little flair, you know?
I had nothing to do with it. I was just a product 9 months later.
Just wait till your next milestone birthday. Get excited.
Oh, I can't wait.
Way back in November, I decided your gift for me was going to be Russell's 15 or nothing at all. I used my greatest superpower, which, as we all know, is my ability to talk to absolutely anyone and everyone without any concerns whatsoever.
You do have an amazing ability to talk.
I do, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I harnessed that power into procuring a bottle of Russell's 15. But then I had to sit on it for 2 months until your birthday finally got here, which my superpower is then also my kryptonite because it makes me really excited to tell people things, and I couldn't tell you about it.
Yeah, you were walking around going, you know what I got you for your birthday? Do you know what I got you for your birthday?
I did do that.
And I was like,
I did do that a lot.
I don't know. We enjoyed it that night just a little bit because we knew that tonight we would be doing it here for you on this show. However, first, before we go to the Russell's 15, we're going to go to the old reliable, the greatest 90 proof ever made. A shelf staple, must be here at all times.
It must, actually.
Medicinal purposes.
Yes.
The Russell's 10.
As a reminder, this bottle is very readily available.
Yes.
Comes in at $45. And all kidding aside about the fanboy over here, you can't beat it. For $45 and walk in the ABC store and grabbing it, it's excellent. It's aged for 10 years, hence the 10. It's in number 4 alligator char barrels. Like B said, it's bottled at 90 proof. And we should get aromas of orange peel. That was well timed, B. Nicely done. Aromas of orange peel with notes of butterscotch, maple, oak, and vanilla. That's going to give way to rich caramel and vanilla flavors. B's getting excited. I can feel the excitement off of him right now. And it's going to finish with some toffee and some spice notes, which B, what spice note is the signature here?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. It is warming, pleasant, and mellow. Very unlike B and I.
Now that I have fanboyed all over it, let's just discuss it. Now that we've sung its praises before we drink, there's a couple things I just want to point out. There is a age statement on the bottle.
Which
it is readily available. Mm-hmm. It is non-GMO. They're transparent about their process. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, we still have this belief that we skip the wild turkey. We skip the Russell's product. There's more combined knowledge in this bottle
than any other bourbon out there.
And that's not knocking Wheatley at Sazerac. That's not knocking any of the others. This is not knocking Rutledge and the work he does at several different distilleries.
Or Deadman Dixon or anyone else we talked about here.
There's 3 of them. As of today, at least, there's still 3. Plus the rest of the family. There's more combined knowledge in that bottle. Now, yes, it's advertising. Yes, they do it well. Yes, they tell their story well. All that stuff is true. But when people say, well, why isn't there an age statement? Why is it not readily available? Why is it not at an affordable price? Bang.
Mm-hmm. Here you go.
Sitting there.
Yep.
And if you wanted a little higher proof, the rare breed is sitting right next to it.
For only about $10 more.
That's right. And it's there.
And it's good.
Yep.
I definitely get the maple.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there is almost maple syrup.
Yeah.
Not in consistency, but that light smell of it.
Smell, yeah.
Autumn.
Yeah.
It smells autumn.
And I get that a lot from wild turkey in general.
Yep. Butterscotch, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Orange zest.
There's a freshness.
The cleansing, the freshness. We've picked up on that before.
So that's one of the first times I've gotten the toffee towards the end. And I think maybe it's been a while since I tasted it. But there is definitely a toffee at the end. The caramel and vanilla, obviously. It's classic.
And oak at the very end.
And what spice be?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
But as this is their 90 proof, the cinnamon is not as pronounced. And the heat is not as pronounced.
The heat is not as pronounced. Right? Yeah, I agree with that.
The cinnamon's still there, but it's not as pronounced. When you drink rare breed, it's got a little more to it.
It does. It does.
Which I argue then, this is an amazing everyday sipper.
This is almost the definition of everyday sipper. Like if we had to put up pictures next to our rating scale, like this would be a picture of.
But it's better than a lot of the everyday sippers.
Right. It's more like this is what you should aspire to be.
Yeah.
As an everyday sipper. This is the model by which we created this ranking.
And to be fair to other people, or to other distillers, if Elijah Craig put an age statement back on the Elijah Craig small batch, I think then they're giving you equal quality. Mm-hmm. Now, some people say the age statement doesn't matter. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. To me, it matters because it is, well, for years, the bourbon industry was telling us how important an age statement is. Mm-hmm. But then when we start not having as much bourbon, it's not really that important. Okay, decide. If it doesn't matter, then why is it when you do a special release, you always want to stick a age statement?
That's my point. Is stop with the shenanigans.
Yeah.
Well, now suddenly I want to charge more and make it super, super rare and special.
Yep.
I'm going to plaster this age statement all over this bad boy. I'm going to name it after the age.
So to be fair, Knob Creek, age statements. Mm-hmm. Russell's, age statement. So and obviously they have their Wild Turkey 101 that does not have an age statement, and maybe, but see, to me that's it. It doesn't price.
Your base level's not meant to.
Yeah, but it prices under.
I agree.
It prices under Elijah Craig, and Elijah Craig is another one that I say is quality bourbon. Quality bourbon, quality price.
It's not well. We're not talking well.
You can aspire to it. You can. Yeah, it's good stuff. To me, those are my favorites.
Yeah.
And Bandits too.
I think that's part of the whole package when it comes to Wild Turkey for a lot of people, and it's interesting because after you talked about, jokingly and then kind of seriously being a Wild Turkey fanboy, And the more we've been in this bourbon universe, the more people in completely different scenarios I have heard make very similar statements. You ask a lot of, I won't say aficionados, but you ask a lot of people who are really into bourbon, and you say, hey, what's your favorite every day? Wild Turkey 101. Every time.
101. And now for the main event. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding.
This was number one on numerous lists, from amateur collector all the way to some aficionados. Now, as we know, Eddie Russell's passion project is Russell's, and that's to honor the legacy of his father. This is his baby, and it exemplifies his abilities to develop complex flavors through expert aging and barrel selection. I would highly encourage you to go find the interviews that were originally done by Bourbon Pursuit when they interviewed Eddie Russell and Jimmy Russell, and Eddie talked about the conversations between Eddie and Jimmy in building this. Talk about 15 for us.
Yeah, so obviously it's aged 15 years. It's on the bottle. So it is beautiful. Look at that dark molasses amber color. So the bottle retails for about $2.50 if you can find it. It is hard to find. Less because of some sort of purposeful allocation game and more because it is truly limited. Yep. There's not that much of it. Secondary market, you're going to pay a little over $2.50. And it comes in at 117.2 proof.
In our very amateur understanding of Russell's, Wild Turkey, it's all the same distillate. Now, let's say that, whether it be Rare Breed, Kentucky Spirit, 101, 80, right. Russell's 15, Generation, it's all the same distillate. That alone, it's kind of like match bill number one, right?
Mind-boggling to me.
So, when they put this in the barrel, and we've tried to find the exact number, this goes in the barrel at like 120.
Yeah, it's not proofed down significantly.
This is 117.5? 0.2, excuse me, 117.2. So you're getting a pretty pure product.
You are.
The color is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it is somewhere between molasses and mahogany.
Mahogany is a good word.
And I don't use that word well. It has amazing legs. ZZ Top wrote about these legs. Rod Stewart wrote about these legs.
This is what they were looking at when they wrote
this was.
Well, except that they wrote the songs before this came about. So what are we supposed to get on the aromas, B?
Heaven.
Heaven.
We're supposed to get dried fruits. Caramel. You're going to get caramel.
The nectar of the gods.
Nutmeg, clove, and oak, and Wild Turkey's signature earthiness. We are not being endorsed by the Russells. No. I'm just a fan.
However, we'd happily take it.
Oh, so...
What's
this supposed to bring us in taste?
All right. We're supposed to get spiced fruits, mainly cherry and plum. It's going to transition to a molasses, coffee, tobacco, and mature oak. And then it's going to have a long finish of dark cocoa, caramel, and smooth oak. So... All
right, let's taste this. Let's smell it.
First, let's smell it. I love the smell of this.
It's caramel.
But it's not just caramel.
No, there's nutmeg.
There's nutmeg. There's clove. It's fall. Like you said earlier, it's fall. But you do get the dry, and it's not fresh fruits because it's not the freshness. It's a dried fruit.
My favorite are the people who smell this glass sideways. I'm trying to figure out.
Do they pick their favorite nostril?
I don't know what it does, but it does something. I think
not for me. I don't think.
I think it allows you to get maybe the alcohol closer to the...
Do you know what? I don't recommend plugging one nostril light.
Went right up your nose.
Makes your eyes water a little bit, yeah.
That's going in the outtake.
So yeah, but on the dried fruit, I actually we're starting to get apricot, and we used to make fun of apricot, but I'm starting to get it a little bit. It's a dried apricot. I mean, it's terrible. It's awful. Don't want it anymore. It's fantastic.
Boom. Breathe it out. All right, so I'm probably going to say this, but on that breathe out, I got the tobacco.
Okay, go ahead.
Caramel up front.
Mm-hmm.
We could also call that molasses. Molasses is not as sweet as caramel.
Mm-mm.
But you get these layers of sweetness.
You have layers. I definitely get the little bit of plum cherry at the beginning. It's a hint. It's almost masked by the caramel vanilla. It's almost at the bottom of the flavor.
Something happens when you smell and taste it at the same time that you get that little bit of cherry.
Yes, absolutely.
It's brief, but it's there.
It's brief, but it's there. And then, like you said, you transition and you get that like that coffee tobacco flavor. And then I absolutely get the cocoa on the finish. That is meant to be savored amongst people who love bourbon.
It is cocktail. My understanding is you paid retail. Mm-hmm. As much as I'm a fanboy, and as much as I've fanboyed all over this, have I fanboyed over anything like this on this show? But let's be honest.
No, not to that extent. No.
I would still argue that you shouldn't pay much more of a MSRP.
I would agree with that.
You know, if I don't know all the economics of running a small liquor store. ABC stores in North Carolina are very different from your mom and pop ABC store up in wherever, Kentucky, Indiana. Maybe they have to market to $2.75 to make a living. Okay, that's reasonable. If you get much more than that, I'm a fan of paying MSRP for booze.
Right, but you and I have also talked about that after a certain point.
Yeah,
we're not going to taste it. It's going to be wasted on us.
We aren't.
It's going to be wasted on us.
Yeah, for us it is.
Yes, I would venture to say most people.
I'm not. I
Over
would
a
too,
certain
but
point,
I'm not.
We don't know that.
I'm not going to speak for everyone out there. But what I am going to say is for us, this is a gift. Thank you. Thank you. It is gorgeous. It is my favorite bourbon that I've ever had. Now, I don't have the most extensive palate. I've had some bourbon, and it is my favorite. It checks all my boxes. But at that price point, I'm going to have a pour every now and then, and it's going to be when I can sit and enjoy it. I still go back to in our tortured state, we're trying to find stuff for you guys that can give you some appreciation. And I will tell you this is fantastic. But you can walk in the store if you want a similar. Now, it's not as hot.
Not quite as complex.
And as I'm sure the camera even picks up, it's a little lighter in color. It's a fantastic buy at $45.
Absolutely.
If you want something that's a little more complex and a little hotter, then grab the rare breed. If you're looking for something in the similar family. Occasionally, also, they'll do a Russell's single barrel, a reserve barrel. They'll do something. In fact, we have one somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah, but it's always good stuff, and it's always got an age statement. It always tells you what it is. Sometimes I even tell you which rick house and what floor.
Yeah, or Camp Nelson even.
Yeah, Camp Nelson. So
this was almost universally hyped. It lit the bourbon world up in 2024. This is one that I get. It's classic to me. It's classic done extraordinarily well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If an alien came down from Mars,
and we wanted to represent bourbon well.
In what is bourbon? This is bourbon.
Done well.
Yep. Absolutely. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to me, the best co-host there is.
Yeah.
Cheers, y'all.
The only co-host.
Shh.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
I'm
so excited.
You're
and I just can't hide it.
Unofficial. Fuck.